I hope your week is off to a great start. Get ready to transform and roll in to another Transformer Tuesday today on Brickscale Studio. Welcome back to Brickscale Studio. My name is Jeff. As always, thank you so much for joining me. I'm very humbled and grateful that you're here. So today we are continuing our Optimus Prime build. So last week we completed the entire left arm. So today we're going to be kind of second verse, same as the first. We're going to be starting on the right arm, and that begins with the right shoulder. So let's get into the build.
Autobots, roll out!
Okay, here we are with Parts Pack 4. So if you'll recall, in last episode, we completed the entire left arm. So today we're going to be starting on the right arm. And just like for the left arm, we start with the shoulder. And so for, again, in our parts pack, we usually get 3 trays of parts. Yes, we do. And if you recall from the last time when we did the left shoulder, in this instance, we'll be completing this entire pack in this episode. So it may be a little bit of a longer episode, but just because of the nature of everything, it's just easier to do it all at once. There's no logical way to split this up. So, without belaboring the point, let's get into Pack 4 and the right shoulder. Alright, so the first parts we want are right here, and again, these can only go in one way. You're just matching up the halves here, just like so. And again, it doesn't want us to glue this together, but next we're going to be taking this piece and this piece. And so these pieces, they do want us to put some glue. So again, they can only go one way. This has some tabs on it. And actually it goes this way. So we just line those tabs up there. Like I said, it can only go on one way. So this will go here, and then this will go here, like so. So it does want us to put some glue here, so let's get that on. So again, can only go on one way. And then here it wants us to put some glue around this little cylinder. And it doesn't matter, this is just a hollow, and it's just going to sit right on there. So we will need the glue again, if I do recall in this issue. So then now we have this piece, and there is, there is a slot here that we want to make sure that this gets lined up. And then we take this piece, and again, there is, this tab just goes straight off, and this side, this tab, kind of steps down. So we want the step down to be toward the top, or this is the top of the smokestack. So we want the step down to be toward the top. Whoops. So we want, yes, so that's the step down. So we want that to go in just like so. And it does want us to put a little glue on this tab, so we will do that. So I'm going to set that aside and just give that a little minute to cure in there. Next piece we want is this piece, because we need that piece. And this does not ask us for any glue. And again, this is just going to go right there like so. Yeah, and that is not coming out. So we need one of these screws. And then, of course, this is just going to match up like so. Boom. So this is all very familiar from what we did last time. This piece. And we will be putting in, remember, we put in those metal rods. And those go in with the PM 3x8. And then again, remember, we also need, so you don't need the nuts at the moment. But we need the lock washers and the regular washers. All right, and again, if you remember, we go screw, lock washer, regular washer. And then that goes on the top here. And then we just screw in the little posts. All right, now that we got those in there, perfect. And if you'll recall, be very careful with the washers because you do not get any extra. You need 8 and they give you 8. So now we take this piece and again we just slide this on. And it can only go on one way, so don't worry about it. And then we just secure this other side again. So again, same drill. We do a lock washer and then a regular washer. I'm just going to get these tight by hand, and then we'll go back with the wrench and tighten them down when we're done. All right, and now, oh my gosh, and now that can't come out. Okay, so next we want to take this piece, and this is the one where we want to make sure that we have the flat part of the thread facing up. All right, that is that. All right, and then the next one we have here, and this one it does not specify that we have it a certain way, so we'll just put that on there. And same thing, we're going with the 4 of the 3x6 and 4 of the lock washers. Okay, there's that piece. So then we have this. This is going like so. And this is going over like that. So again, we want those with 4 of the lock washers. All right, there we go. And then we want to take this piece. And there is a little notch here and a little notch there. We just want to line those up. That goes like so. And we want 2 by 3x6, which are our trusty black screws here. All right, perfect. Okay, then we want to bring this piece back. And this is going to go just like so. So again, we're going with 4 of these screws and then 4 of the lock washers. All right, and then we are going to take these 2 pieces One is going to fit on like so. And then one is going to fit on. All right, and that is a tight fit. So there we go on that. All right. Take the screws out of there. So that's it for this tray. I'm going to bring over the next one. And we need these two pieces. Line up the angles there. Those are going in with our 2x3x6 screws. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. So now we need this piece. And this piece. And this piece. And these. Okay. And again, our trusty PB 2.3x6. Perfect. Now we just want the other side. And we want to make sure that you get this in the correct way. So we have this. Let's go in like this. There we go. So yeah, you want to make sure that when you have sort of the thicker end and then it tapers down, that this is like so. And then we just simply want to take 3 of our good old PB 2x3, 2.3x6. Perfect. And then in the third tray, we have these little plugs here, and no glue is needed. So just pop those in. Just like so. So now we need this piece and this piece. Okay, so this is going to go just like so. And there are some tabs that hold it together, just like so. And so then we're going to take one of our 3x8 a lock washer and a nut. All right, and that is in there tight. Okay, now we are taking this ring and we are putting it right around there. And now we're taking this collar, and this collar is going around just like this. And then again, we're securing that with 2 of our M3x8 screws, 2 lock washers, 2 nuts. All right, this piece is going to go on just like so. And again, we are going in with 3x8s, lock washers, okay, There we go. All right, and then this we just sort of put in, we kind of angle it just like so. So this is the tricky part where, if you'll recall from last time, we have to put a nut in this slot and then go in from the side. So if you'll recall, what I ended up doing is I take the nut, I put it in, and then I flip my tweezers over and wedge that in, and then bring the screw in from the bottom. All right, so we got that in. That is tricky, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, next we're gonna go with this piece. That is going on just like so. All right, so there's that piece on. All right, now we need tray 3 here. So we need this, we need this, we need this. All right, that goes there like so. Okay, so this is, even though that grill, like putting this on doesn't matter, like putting this piece together, it doesn't matter, but when you attach it to the model, there are these little notches that kind of go this way, and you want those to go toward the back. So when you're looking at it, this is going to attach to the body, and so this will be on the outside of the shoulder. So this is the front, and this is the back. So you want those little vents to be going to the back. And we want that to go just like so. And we're going to screw those in with our good old 2.3 by 6. All right, perfect. All right, so let's set that aside for a moment. Now we're going to bring back tray 3 here because we need to grab this and this. So that's going to fit on just like so. Okay, so then we're going to bring that over here on this side. And again, remember, there are these little tabs that will hook into each other. So start it in the middle and then you slide it up. That should just slide in there, and I'm not sure why it is not. Okay, well there, of course. Just yell at it and it will work. Move our screws here. Perfect. And then we want this piece, and that is just going to snap over just like so. And then we want this piece and this piece, and that goes in just like so. And we want to use a 2x4, PB 2x4. All right, there we go. So then it's asking us to put some glue, but I seem to recall the last time we did not need any, and this time it's a little loose, so yeah. There we go. So now, we need this, this, and this. So they do have a 1 and a 2 on them, so number 1 is going there, and number 2 is going here. And those are going in with PWM 2x4. go. And now let's see how lucky we are on this side. Again, a little difficulty. There we go. And again, one of our 2x3x6s here. Okay, and then we want that piece. Nope. Again, that just snaps on. Okay. Then we need the last two pieces here. And then we're going to need this cover. And this just snaps together like so. Make sure you have both sides sort of married in there. And then we are going to screw in, the two top holes get the 2x3x6, and then this sort of middle hole gets one of the 2x4s. Okay, perfect. And then next we just put this on. It does not ask us to glue it. And if I recall from last time, we did not need to. Nope, that fits tight in there. And this is the right shoulder. All right, perfect. So that will do it for the scale model side. So let's check out the Lego side.
Autobots, roll out!
Here we are on the Lego side. So last episode, remember we started on this leg piece. So we will continue to work on that. We're going to be doing steps 86 through 102. All right, so we finished the part of one leg we were working on and got that attached, and then we started on another leg. So that is it for the Lego portion. All right, let's recap where we are. So for the Lego side, we finished up this part of this upper leg and started on the other leg. And then for the part work, we built this right shoulder. So I find it interesting that we're almost doing the opposite in this build. If you recall, in the Optimus Prime scale model, we started with the head and then moved into the chest, and then we started the arms. Here, we basically started the chest and moved into the legs. So while we're focusing on the arms here, we're focusing on the legs here. So anyway, that is where we're at for this episode, and that is the end of this episode. All right, so the right shoulder is complete. So next week we'll be working on the right hand. And then in the Lego version, we completed one of the upper part of the leg. And so we'll continue working on the legs for the next few episodes on the Lego side. So let's get into our summary. So for the scale model version, a whopping 51 steps and 52 parts. That is more than double the amount of steps and parts from last week. On the Lego side, 20 steps and 48 parts. And the total to date is 268 steps and 294 parts for the scale model, and 144 steps and 368 parts for the Lego side. All right, so as I mentioned, next week we'll be working on the right hand on the scale model side, and then for the Lego side, we'll continue on with the legs. So coming up on Thursday, we have another Titanic build, and then on Saturday, we're going to be talking about the Bricklink Designer Program Series 7, which pre-orders will be starting next week. So be sure to tune into that for all the details. And until I see you then, remember to like, share, subscribe. We're trying to get those subscriber numbers up so we can give away some more free Lego. And as always, happy building, take care, be kind to each other, and I'll see you soon.